athlete, you'll die an athlete. It's in your DNA.
You're an athlete. Live like an athlete so that you can be successful in life.
You're an athlete. Live like it.
ANA, America needs athletes.
Welcome, athletes, into another episode of the Gym Closet. I'm here, as always, with
Amber. What's up, guys?
And I'm Tyler. We are the founders of Krave Gym. If this is the first time listening, I know we have a lot of new subscribers. If this is your first time listening, the Gym Closet is a podcast to help all of our athletes dominate the sport of life. This means we bust through all the bullshit information that floods all of our feeds to give you real ways to optimize your life, both inside and outside of the gym. We have, if you see me looking down, I produce this as well. So this is my production table as well. So
Yeah, we need a producer up in here.
I know we need to give us a shout if you are a producer and you want to donate any of your time. That's why we have a that's why we have trouble getting a producer, because we don't have the funds to be throwing to a producer at this point. But eventually maybe we do. But this is a super fun podcast. We're back after several weeks. We've been doing a lot of really cool things with Krave. As most of you know, Sioux Falls is opening up. Hopefully, construction is flying by. We have had a great experience with this construction. One, the owner is invested in, he's the GC, so he's invested in the Sioux Falls location. So that goes a long way when they're doing the work. And so that one has been the smoothest location that we've had since location number one, as far as build out and all that kind of stuff. So it's really cool to see that go up. That will be opening middle of December. So if you're in the Sioux Falls, South Dakota area, check that out. We have founders rates and some really cool stuff going on right now. That's kind of the update we have rolling to. I don't even know if we've made that announcement yet.
Need to bleep that, I think.
Why?
Because I just think it's a good idea.
Okay, well,
the suspense, and then we'll let you know who decide. We got to talk to him about that. So bleep. Yep, that bleep is.
Okay, we just
gotta
came
wait.
back. We have a bunch of really cool information that we just gave you, but we had to bleep it out.
There's one bleep. That's all you got to do, is that one part that you say where it's at. Yep.
Okay.
Then we're good.
All right, awesome. So we have that going on. Today we're going to go over our last season. We just finished up our
Heart and Hustle
season. Thank you. Once I get moved on to the next season, I'm on to
and it's endurance season,
so
you're far long gone over in season.
Everybody's over
just like everybody else.
Yes, everybody's over endurance
PTSD.
season. So we're going to recap endurance season. We're going to go over our strength season that we just started. We are in it's Friday we're recording, so this is the end of training camp for our Live to Lift season. So we'll have updates on that. And then we're going to go over, so we have built out a new ebook that is basically all about living like an athlete and the different ways to do so. So in the upcoming episodes, we're going to we're going to get experts in different things. We're going to get people to interview. We're going to talk about some different ways to optimize your life in the different categories in what it means to live like an athlete. And so those are going to be here in the future. Today we're going to talk about our basically our mission statement at Krave, and talk about our core values and what all of our athletes really should be focusing on, and what kind of permeates the culture of what we do. So if you are new, thank you for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button. We'll continue to give as much value as possible. We're going to start with...
And I want to say, if you're returning, thank you for returning and coming back to us.
Of course.
I know you missed us.
It's been a minute, and so we are dedicated now to continuing to get this podcast out. We don't know what the exact schedule will be, but we're going to try to be consistent as possible and get it moving again in the right direction. So this is episode 204. So we've had long streaks, and I think we can do it again. We just gotta dive into it. So we're going to recap first our Heart and Hustle season. We had an awesome season with American Cancer Society. We had an awesome turnout. We had a record turnout for our More Than Pink 5K and mile walk. We were super excited. I think we had
75 to 80.
Yeah,
I think for there.
And that's I think doubled.
And it was nice because it was at the beginning of October, so the weather was nice. So that helped out a lot too. So I think, and it was a good weekend. Like we made sure Iowa State football were like away, so that way everybody could be there. But it was a really good turnout.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for going that was able to show up. Thank you there were a lot of people that weren't able to come and race with us, but still donated and participated with us, and we thank everybody that bought a ticket for that, and we're super excited for that event to be as well attended as it was. So hopefully we'll continue to grow that every year. We're super excited about that. But we also do our mile challenge. So we're going to give a few shout outs here to all of our athletes that finished the best at their location. I believe that the team that won, I can't remember the guys or girls. We had one Waukee and one, I think our Waukee women won, and our West Des Moines men's won.
Yeah.
And so we're super, happy for that as we continue to have new locations. It's awesome to see those locations compete too. Ankeny, shout out to Ankeny and Elkhorn for getting their times in. It was actually very, very close, even though there's less athletes at those locations right now. So keep showing up and showing out on these challenges, and we'll have new location winners as we continue to go. So
yeah, and the reason why the West Des Moines men won is because Patrick D had a time of 5:09, and then Aaron had 5:45. Like that is flying. Yeah. That is
great
fast.
Mile times.
And the West Des Moines women, Miranda H time of 6:40, Sky B time of 6:50. So great job to you guys. Key men, Dave S 6. Sirhat T 6:25, Lucky Women, Andrea P 6:01, Brooke S 6:33, Ankeny Forrest B 5:22, Chase V 6:27, Ankeny Women, Jane J 7:02, Maddie O 7:32, and then Elkhorn we got Noah with a time of 6:40, Nate O 6:43, and then the ladies, Amanda I with 6:52 and Kelsey S with 7:21. And I also want to shout out, I know Coach Dan just posted the most improved, which is really cool to see, because we hope that over those 8 weeks that you guys are training for that muscular endurance that you're obviously improving, which is why we do the challenges for you guys. And so seeing everybody's improvement was really cool. So Alicia F improved her mile time by 44 seconds, which is crazy.
Huge. That's
like
awesome.
That is so good. And I'm sure, not only did the times improve, but like you just feel better overall when you get done with these runs. Megan A by 38 seconds, Kelsey N by 37. And men, Jeff A improved his mile time by 1:03. Him and Matt C. Kurt W by 51 seconds. And there's a big list on here up to all you guys. So it's fun to see those most improved too, rather than not always getting in the top 10, because like that is something to be proud of, and you guys all showed up. You showed up for those challenges, and we know it's not always easy, but you guys did a great job. So
I think the
good
bottom
work to
line,
everybody.
even the reason for those challenges inside of our program are to compete with yourself, to see your times improve. So we do, the beginning of the season, middle, and end. And so at the end of the season, after that 8 weeks, you can see that improved time or weight or whatever that we're doing. So it's super exciting to see that improvement and being able to, dominate in that on a personal level, and being able to level up in your own training as well. Mm-hmm. So we'll be diving into our Live to Lift season. So we have a new challenge, and those are going to be sub-max squat dead bench. Those are always fun, a mini powerlifting meet inside of the gym. So we have that starting next week for our beginning of the season. We'll have another one in the middle and at the end. We will also be check out our YouTube. We'll be also uploading a clinic that we are going to be doing. And so with that clinic, it's basically talking about different tips and different little things form-wise to improve your weights on those 3 movements. And so there will be a lot of value in that video, and being able to get into that clinic and be able to see what you can do, little tweaks that you can make to optimize your weight with those 3 movements as well. Mm-hmm. So.
And the good thing about obviously form super important when it comes to lifting too, but with the challenge coming up, finding 1 rep max, it just gets to be, you'll get injured. There's a lot of the higher risk of injury if you do just a 1 rep max, which is why we do the 3 to 5, but it's a good way to get an idea on how much weight you should be able to move 4 to 6 times. So we'll have a chart that shows you what your 1 rep max would be from that, and then diving down into how many times you should be able to do a weight 4 to 6 times. So it'll be super important that you guys, work hard during those challenges, try to find that good 3 to 5 rep max, and then we'll help you guys figure out your 1 rep max and then figure out what you should be doing 4 to 6 reps.
And we'll be getting the lifting cards out to everybody here next week at all the locations. On that, you'll have a goal. We really want to concentrate on what your goals are, strength related, and then also just in general in life in the next 8 weeks. By the time that we hit New Year's, what is a goal that you want to accomplish during this season? And so really concentrate on those goals. Those will be on your lifting cards. On the back of the lifting cards as well, we have the scales. So you'll be able to see if I benched 200 pounds for 3, that means that my 6 rep during the season should be at X, right? And so it'll give you those calculations across the board, so you can either highlight, circle, get an idea for what you should be hitting as a goal, and continue to move on from there and maximize your results during this season where we're working on strength. This season is all about strength. The rep ranges is 4 to 6, so we're maximizing that weight. We want to try to go as heavy as possible inside of that rep range. So if you do 6 and you hit it easily, then we need to go up in weight, drop down to that 5 rep range. If you can hit 5 relatively easily, drop down, raise that weight, drop down to that 4 reps, hit that 4 reps until you can get 6 out of that. And that's how you can kind of continue to progress and always be pushing that weight up and continuing to get stronger and stronger throughout these next 8 weeks. The season is also really, really fun with our power partner. So we have the Salvation Army is our power partner. This is one of my personal favorites. Just our team coming together in the last couple of years has been amazing. We've competed as far as like the Angel Tree that will come out in the middle of November. We've competed with some of the best, the biggest companies in the Des Moines area as far as the number of toys. So they always count the number of toys from different organizations. Last year, I think we got 3rd.
Yeah, we got top 3.
And those top 3, the other 2 is Wells Fargo, which if you know, their corporate headquarters is in Des Moines, and they have a ton of people, probably X the amount of athletes that we have. And so the amount of participation that we've been able to see to even compete at their level is so cool. And it means that all of our athletes are really doing our job in helping the Salvation Army with that Angel Tree. The other one was like Menards, which again is a huge company with multiple locations all over the metro area in Des Moines, and we were competing with those guys. So it's going to be a really fun opportunity to try to beat out those different organizations. And as competitive as we are, we really want to win those type of things, because the more that all of us are competing with each other, the more presence, which is ultimately the goal, to get kids presence that may not have presence otherwise. And so that's one of our big pushes this season is the Angel Tree. We also have a 10 the Toys, which is a singular date, and that date will release. If you want to volunteer for that, that'll be out at all the gyms in the metro area. And you basically get to go there and you get to take the families around and put the presents that they want into the kids' hands. And so to see that is super empowering. It's really cool to see. That is a huge part of what we want to do at Krave, is the community aspect and making our communities better. And that volunteer side of things is so amazing and a huge opportunity for us to do that. The third thing that we do during this season is, I'm sure everybody has seen people outside ringing the bells. We want to be huge participants in that as well. So we want to have a lot of people sign up in different areas. Now, everybody knows that in the Midwest, it gets cold during this time. So the sooner you sign up when those lists go out, the easier you can pick a location that's like indoors. Ask your head coaches. We've done it for the last 5, 6, 7 years. And so we know kind of where the best locations are when it's heated and inside. And so, whether it is or not, it's worth it. Bundle up if you're outside, but go early so that you can get some of those prime locations and ring the bells to raise as much money. That organization is amazing. If you go on, we were reviewing some episodes previous to this, and we just had the episode come up where we talked to the representative at Salvation Army, and they do a lot of different things. So search for that episode if you'd like to hear a little bit more detail on Salvation Army. We interviewed him, and all the information that we would need from them.
And a lot of these sign up things, opportunities will be on the app, the Krave Gym app, if you're a current athlete. So look at the app. You can also see the challenge times and results on your app too, but keep an eye out for that, or ask your head coach how to get involved with the things this season too. And it's fun, like when people ring the bell or they do the toy tree, like they'll take their kids shopping for that toy and explain to them what they're doing as a family. And then it's impactful for that kid to be like, wow, like there's some families out there that can't afford toys. Like, I'm very thankful that my family can. Or when they're out there ringing the bell, it's really good just for them to participate with you. So if you have any friends or family that aren't current Krave athletes that want to join you for any of those things, they're always more than welcome.
Definitely. So today we want to cover a little bit more. If you're not familiar with what Krave is, if you are an athlete, maybe you're a new athlete, or if you've been around forever and you just kind of know the lingo and the different words that you hear around, but maybe you don't have the exact definition and why we use certain things and what the definitions of those terms are. So today we're just going to kind of go over Krave Gym's mission. And we say it at the beginning of this podcast, but the overall mission of Krave Gym is to help all of our athletes and anyone that we can touch to dominate the sport of life. And that really means doing as much as you can, progressing and being successful, not only in the gym, but outside of the gym as well, whether that's in the kitchen, at work, whether that's with your community, with your family, being the best parent or friend that you can be. All of those things come into dominating the sport of life and having that athletic mindset. I think a lot of people remember what, when you played sports, we remember the times, in the locker room and the fun that we had with our friends. But oftentimes I think it's overlooked what those sports and what those values of playing sports and athletics and being a part of a team instilled in us. And that's what we can credit to a lot of people's success in the gym, whether it's in the gym or at work or whatever. A lot of those traits that you learn to master come from your sports background or your team, any team that you were on. If you were in the band and you're a part of that team, that camaraderie, that type of thing, all of those things come into play. And so that's what we mean when we talk about dominating the sport of life. For those who don't know, Krave is a coach-led, science-backed strength and conditioning program where athletes train with their team to dominate the sport of life. And so what that basically means is that kind of describes what our product is, right? So if you are coming to Krave for the first time, what is the program? What can I expect? We're a strength and conditioning program that works obviously in strength, and then we have conditioning, and we do those in 4 different elements. We have our strength, our agility, striking, and endurance. And so those 4 elements permeate everything we do. And so on the programming end inside of the gym, you have a balanced training that is really built for you not to think about anything. All you have to do is show up 3 days a week and dominate in the gym, and that's going to help with that performance and help you get the results that you're looking for. And then on top of that, we have nutrition, and we have all of these other things that we can help with. Hopefully we give a bunch of value on this podcast where we talk about nutrition topics. We talk about different things that just can ultimately help you all the time. But today we basically have 5 values inside of Krave that we'll dive into a little bit more. And these are things that you're going to hear in the gym all the time. And maybe this will help give a little bit more context to what those things mean and what the reason that we're talking about them. Number 1 is going to be GNG, great, not good. So always pushing yourself, always getting better to be great, and not just settling on good. That's kind of our number 1 value. That kind of supersedes everything that we do, because if you're great in everything that you do and you push for success, you're going to dominate the sport of life in that context. And so that's kind of number 1. The second one, do you want to take the second one? Do we want to go back and forth?
Sure, let's do it. Because I feel like you're doing this all by yourself.
I know,
which I'm fine. That's okay.
I take over these conversations because I'm very passionate about
That's
them.
okay.
I want you to, and she knows them all like the back of her hand too.
No,
so.
You're good. So obviously team, together everyone achieves more. So that instilling that team philosophy, and we're going to dive into this a little bit deeper in the next few episodes, but you guys know what it's like when you're there with your team, just, trying to dominate your workout, and everything you do is just such an uplifting feeling. And we're all better because of our teammates, and we achieve more together versus by yourself. So that's just a given one.
Yeah. The cool thing about team is, like, there's so much other things that our benefit by training with your team, the accountability. If you know that people are expecting you to be there, and so it's very tough to wake up in the morning when you don't want to go to a workout and you're like, well, I know 4 people that will either give me shit or worry about me if I'm not there. And so that element really, really helps you be successful in the gym. So we're super excited. And the other thing that's really cool, and I think that some of the reviews that we've gotten online, when they talk about team, they talk about, like, a lot of gyms can be cliquey and can be, not everyone's kind of there for themselves. I think Krave's unique in the fact that everyone is there for their own unique goals. But in those goals, we're helping all of our teammates out as well, because we know together everyone achieves more. And so we're helping push our athletes. As coaches, we want to make sure that all of our athletes are working together, supporting each other, holding each other accountable. And that's going to ultimately allow us to achieve those individual goals that we have. Number 3, when we talk about our 5 core values, is coach. So what's the meaning of coach? We kind of give coach, I'm terrible with this word every single time. And I can never remember it.
Acronym?
Acronym, there we go.
Yeah, acronym.
So I literally...
I was going to say analogy. I'm like, no, that's wrong. Acronym.
Yep,
every time. You can even ask the head coaches. Every time. Acronym.
I don't think I've ever gotten that on my first try. And I've probably asked for assistance on this word.
Yeah, which is crazy because you're
9 times in a row.
Usually good with words, but
not that one.
Not that one.
That's not it. But coach, we have an acronym that is communicating and optimizing the abilities, confidence, and hard work of our athletes. And so that's what coach stands for us. And we really want to make sure as coaches that we're communicating effectively. We can communicate to our athletes what needs to be done, motivation cues, and different things that will help it get done at an optimized level. But then we also want to make sure that we're adjusting for abilities. We want to max out your personal ability. And that kind of goes back to our challenges. If you're personally getting better by like a minute and 15 seconds on a mile, like, that's amazing. Mm-hmm. It may not be the top 10, but that is what we're all about as coaches, is optimizing those abilities, whatever your ability is. So if you're just starting, you have not been active, you've never been in a gym, this is the perfect team for you. If you've been a pro athlete, this is also the perfect team for you, because now you can take that activity, and really there's not a lot of places that train with a team, with a coach like we do. And so that atmosphere is for all skill levels to maximize everybody's individual ability. Confidence is a huge thing. I don't know how many people have been in a gym, or maybe it's your first time going to a gym, and you sit in the car for like 10 minutes prior to the session. You're just like, gosh, I'm really nervous to go into this session. I really want to, to just start my car and leave. And we've
only had that happen once.
Right. And well, it's interesting, because when that happens, if you do, get the courage to come in the first time, that automatically boosts that confidence. You're going to have so much more confidence in just seeing the team atmosphere, and then you're going to start having that confidence in yourself. And what I've seen that's so cool is that confidence then permeates everything else that you do. So you are now confident at work. You're walking with kind of a new swagger, and those things really come across and make you successful in everything across the board. So it's super amazing to see our athletes be able to do those things and adjust that confidence. And then hard work is self-explanatory. We're going to work hard. You have to work hard in everything in life if you want to achieve your goals. And so the hard work element is part of our coach's responsibility as well, is just to make sure you're pushing yourself and make sure every athlete is working to their abilities as hard as they can. And speaking of athlete, number 4.
That's next. So athlete, one of my favorites. So achieving the highest level of excellence through effort. So just showing up to the gym and putting the effort in so you can be excellent. And I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but it's just, it all shifts to this mindset on all of these of how you show up for yourself, for your team, for your coaches. And we instill these in our coaches too. Like, these are things that we expect from our coaches. When they're coaching, they show up with that highest level too. But it's funny, when we had the paper sign-up sheets, and we talked about this right before the podcast, it says like athlete's name, and everybody, or a lot of people would say, well, who do I put here? And I'm like, that's you. Like, you're the athlete. Because, and we'll dive into this more. Is this on this podcast or another one where we talk about
a future one? Yeah.
But just, we have such a precedent set in our minds of like these great athletes that maybe we aspire to be or we never think we're going to be like. But really, like, if you're showing up with effort to be excellent, like, you are an athlete, right? It doesn't matter physically what you're like, because we talk about it too as a team and being like a football team. You know, there's the O lineman, there's a quarterback, there's the cornerbacks. All of them physically are different, but they're all together for one goal. They all show up together. They put the effort in to be excellent, you know. And so those are some analogies that we like to think about when we're talking about athlete. But yes, you are an athlete, and if you show up and you put the effort in, you definitely are a Krave athlete.
Yeah, and I love. So we formulated a lot of these acronyms for the first time. We formulated these with our head coaches and our coaches because, you know, the definition of athlete is pretty vague in society, and a lot of times it's like, oh, someone who plays sports or whatever. And for us, like, when you come in, if you're a Krave athlete, like, you're automatically an athlete. But you should be, the athletic mindset is so great to be successful in everything that you do in life. And so the definition being achieving the highest level of excellence through effort, that can be anybody and everybody. You don't have to be physically in the best shape of your life today, but we can strive to get there through effort. And so that word athlete really describes anybody and everybody that is willing to come train with us, right? Mm-hmm. The last one we have is MVP, and that's motivating, versatile, and positive. So a motivating atmosphere. We want to be motivating ourselves, motivating our teammates. We want to, the coaches, we want to motivate all athletes. So the motivation in that, you know, motivation can be fleeting, right? And so it takes a team to kind of lean on to get that motivation, because everything's super easy when we talk about motivation. If you're motivated that day, boom, you're done. It's in the bag. You have what it takes that day. Motivation isn't always there, but if we can help as a team kind of accumulate more motivation or find motivation and from our teammates, from our coach, whatever the case might be, then that's super important. Versatile is another one. We're a small company, and I think versatility in training, versatility in being able to adapt to different things and being able to get the most out of any certain situation. When you're a big, huge conglomerate company, you can throw money at a lot of problems. For us, it's mostly just, okay, how can we become versatile to overcome this problem? You know, in training, everybody, like we talked about earlier, everybody has different abilities. Everybody has a different starting line. But if you're versatile, you can overcome certain things. There's different exercises. If you have an injury, being versatile to be able to adapt the workout to our athletes, from our coaches to the athletes, to be able to get the most out of a certain workout. And then positivity. And this is going to be kind of how we end the day here on the podcast. But like, positivity is the most infectious thing. When someone's positive on your team, when a coach is positive, that, you know, say you work out in the morning, that can completely change your entire day. And that positivity really permeates everything that we do. And we want to be as positive as we can as athletes to our teammates, to inspire them to be positive. And if Krave can be the 1 hour, 3 days a week where you see that positivity, you see a change both physically, mentally in yourself, like that's what we're all about, and that's a huge thing. So that's our core value number 5 is MVP.
Love it.
Awesome. So we're going to sign off today. Remember, you're an athlete. Live like it.